All right, what's good, folks? We're back. We've already seen people chirping us in the comments that this will be our last episode before March Madness. You're probably right. People thought we retired. We kind of did, but no, we're back, and we're gonna have Mario Little joining us here in 5 to 10 minutes. He's getting on here in a second, so he's going to join us. That should be a fun time. He's going to talk about this KU team. Probably talk about old KU teams. He played on some good ones. But me and B-Turn here starting it out. And I don't remember the last time we recorded, but
we say that every show.
We have so much to talk about, but I think we got to start with, and I guess I'll just kind of give an overview of where I'm at right now as a Kansas fan. And my main takeaway is, one, I think everyone's in agreement. This team is awesome. They're fun. They're the most typical Bill Self team. They were, you can tell, handpicked by Bill Self to be his team, and they're playing like it. Now, Melvin Council is obviously awesome. We got to talk about his Saturday night, one of the most absurd performances I think we've ever seen. But then we'll also talk about the Darren Peterson saga that's just kind of like, I don't know, it sucks, and we'll get to it, but I don't want to start there. Let's first start with how are you feeling about this team? Because I'm like having fun watching Kansas basketball again for the first time in years, and it's awesome.
No, yeah, we talked about it before the show, how fun it's been to watch these guys. And there's multiple dudes I could think top of my head, Trey White, Melvin Council, just two dudes that are perfect fits under Bill. And I think we talked about the portal and how I'm sure it is tough to not go after the big fish in the portal. You're KU, you got money, Bill Self, great history. So I'm sure he is able to pull the big names out of the portal, but there's been bigger names that haven't fit here, haven't played a ton under Bill. Talk about AJ Storr, Rylan Griffin. We're excited about those guys, but probably weren't a fit here. And now you go get Trey White, Melvin Council, who we knew wasn't the most elite scorer, most elite shooter. Maybe we're wrong on that, but we knew he'd be a fit because he plays hard. He defends. You heard Bill talking about him the other day, how he could go 40 minutes a night. Like, he just wants to play, doesn't want to come out of the game. And those are the guys that we've grown to love under Bill and at KU. So I've really enjoyed watching them compete. Even in Vegas, you go Tennessee game. God, it's been that long since we recorded. But Tennessee game, you go in not with a ton of expectations, but they come out, battle, win that game. I know the UConn game didn't go their way, but they were in it till the end. And then obviously at NC State, you're a dog on the road. You weren't sure what you were going to get from DP, and they go into Raleigh and compete. And Melvin Council had one of the best games in Kansas history, which is crazy to say because they've had so many of those.
It really was. Like, I was thinking back on, like, obviously it's one of the best performances of the Bill Self era just in any game, but it's also one of the most, like, random good performances ever, which I would rank up there with, like, Elijah Johnson at Iowa State, obviously. Like, that came out of nowhere. Do you remember that random game at Sprint Center? David McCormick was a sophomore, and I think he had like 28 points. Anyone remember that game?
Was it UMKC?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something hilarious, but he just kept scoring at will.
Because there was random games that he started that season. I think he started, I forget how many. I know Isaiah Moss did too. But yeah, that was when
Self started him and Doak the first like 12 games of that season, which was
that was when we were like peak talking about Dave just shooting the craziest pull-ups. I remember that one at Rupp from like 18 feet that hit the backboard and the back of the rim, just a laser.
That's when I fell in love with that guy.
Won us a national title. Should have been MOP.
Facts. But that was up there as one of the more random performances.
It's got to be the most random. If I told you before the season that Melvin, or even to start the season when he was just launching, I mean, he took some crazy shots against Duke at the Garden. Like we've seen it all season pretty much. And I give that dude credit because he's not afraid to pull from anywhere. But if I told you even after the UConn game that Melvin Council was going to have a 36-point night this season, you would laugh at me so hard.
Well, the crazier thing is that he made 9 3-pointers. Like I could, 36, I could say, a lot of free throws, maybe a lot of layups. I don't know. Him making 9 threes is so funny.
With Will Wade sagging off of him. Like they were daring him to shoot.
Before we recorded, like that first 10 minutes of the game, he was shooting every possession. And you're sitting there like, this is getting kind of ridiculous, Melvin. Like, chill out. But then they started to go in. And Will Wade did not change his philosophy. And my God, it was hilarious and so fun to watch.
And that's going back to him just firing. Like, he did not hesitate one single time. I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he started the game off 2 for 6 from 3, and he finished 7 for his last 9 from 3, like 9 for 15. And then he went 3 for 6 last night against Towson.
Yeah.
So he's 10 for his last 15 from 3?
Yeah. I mean,
and all-time name.
Melvin, elite name. He had to get close. I mean, he was like a 30% shooter at St. Bonaventure, so he wasn't going to keep shooting as bad as he was. It was just a hilarious, what's it called? Regression. I don't know. Back to getting to where he actually belongs from an average standpoint.
He was 29% last season, and he was 27 the year before.
Yeah.
He's sitting at 35 right now, but I think his numbers from 3 before, I mean, was he under like 20%?
It was
before
close.
The NC State game?
It was very close. Somebody, if anyone knows that, I would love to hear what he was going. It was something like, I can't remember how many threes he had made the whole year going into NC State.
5 for 27, 19%.
Good God.
He was 35% from the floor in general, 40 for 115. He was shooting from the free throw. Well, he was 79%. And speaking of that, if he would have made front ends of the 1-and-1, we might be talking about a 40 ball. And which he gave us half a heart attack on both of those. At least the front end. I think
thing that
could have went up 2 scores on both.
The thing I couldn't stop thinking about during that whole overtime was, this is awesome, but I will never be able to get over the fact that we could lose a basketball game in which Melvin Council made 9 3-pointers. Like, you have to win that game because you're not going to get that type of performance ever again. So you have to find a way to win, and thank God we did, because sneaky, the next few weeks, a lot of winnable games. Like, I really hope this team plays well on the road at UCF coming up and at, I think, West Va. If they can win those games, they have Iowa State coming to town in a few weeks or close to a month. That could be a very fun and important basketball game if they continue to play well and win these upcoming games.
So they got Davidson coming up, and then I don't really know what the upcoming schedule is, but no, the craziest shit about the NC State game is, I'm pissed at Melvin the entire first half. I'm like, what is? And then that game goes into overtime, and I'm like, do not let anyone else touch the ball. This is Melvin's game to win or lose. Just let him launch from the logo.
I know. I don't even remember who else scored. And obviously Flory scored in overtime. That was a good pass by Melvin. But I was at a Christmas party, so I wasn't that locked in. But who else scored? Oh, there he is.
I'm just, hey.
Let's get him at it. Hold on. There you are. You hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
Yep. All right. We finally delivered, folks. Mario Little has joined the pod just a little bit late. How are you?
Sorry.
How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing, man? Sorry about the
No, you're
delay,
good.
Man.
All good.
I haven't even told Ryan, but me and Rio were trying to figure out Twitter Live for like an hour last night. I was on Reddit, like searching. I was watching YouTube tutorials. I think
Same.
Rio started like 4 different Twitter Lives because we were trying to like add each other in, so we would start the live to see if we could add. And
Why couldn't you?
I don't think
you
you
have
can
to
add someone into.
Do you have premium? I think we have to have like premium to do this on the podcast page, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know. For some reason, it didn't. I don't know. Just couldn't find the right buttons.
Rio, can you like turn your phone landscape wise so we see you?
Hold on. Hold on.
Wait, why is that not doing it?
I got you. I got it. What about now?
There you go. There you go.
Can I get one of those zip ups?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, honestly, you can't even fit it. It just looks good from the
That is
ribs
unbelievable.
Up. You can ship. You want to ship that to me?
You can't fit it, man. You're gonna be in there looking like. I can get you something though. I'll get back up there.
We were just talking about how Melvin counts as the best shooter in Kansas history.
Yeah, I mean, he got that type of confidence, you know. He put in that work. So I'm glad to see it fall, though. You know, obviously KU needed that, especially the game before last, North Carolina State. So
yeah.
What y'all been looking at, man? Talk to me. What y'all been looking at?
Well,
what
we were talking about was like, you know, coming into this year, it was like everything was about Darren Peterson, and it felt like the only hope we had was Darren Peterson being the best player in the country, which I still think he hopefully could be. But the thing that has stood out to us and what we were talking about is like, this team is just such a vintage Bill Self team, like with guys like Council and Trey White and even, you know, Flory Block. Flory's just having an athletic big compared to Hunter Dickinson. He had his positives, but like Flory's just a better fit for, I think, what Bill wants to do. So I don't know. This team's awesome. I obviously think we need DP back, and we'll talk about that. But like, yeah, we love watching. It's been 2 years since we've really enjoyed watching a Kansas basketball team, and this team's awesome. Even though they struggle with offense and scoring at times, but they're still very, very fun.
No, for sure. Yeah, they are. They're good guys. They hang with each other more. I think Coach has said that in one of his press conferences. But just the energy, you know, just a lot of stuff they were able to kind of like establish early. Like we need to talk more, with longer. Coach was listening to people last year, you know, so he went out and recruited guys that can, you know, fit the bill. It's just about them getting more reps in and honestly just building on something. You know, when you build on like, all right, this is how we're going to defend, you know, and then a little bit of communication and then understanding, all right, what's your strongest points is the next step for those guys. So if I'm on a court with Cole, you know, Rosario, and he's in that 45, I'd rather him cut and then let a guy like Melvin or somebody more of a ball handler or creator fill up from the corner. And, you know, once they start getting to spaces like that, mentally like, hey, you're better here, you know, so let me be in a spot where I can be a receiver more so than a creator. Once you start getting that type of continuity and synergy with the team, those are the teams that are like middle of the pack or top of the, you know, the Big 12 or any conference. Those little small nuances.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we got to talk about like the longer time goes on, obviously the more worrisome it gets with Darren Peterson being out. And I think we all agree that for this team to truly reach its ceiling and like actually have a chance to win a national title, they probably need him healthy. But like, I don't know, as a former player, do you think this is getting awkward for the guys? Like at the point where it's like, wow, we're winning, we're playing really well without him. Or is it just something where it's like, this has been good for guys like Melvin and Trey White and to step up and take on a bigger role. And they're just knowing that, all right, when we get Darren Peterson back, this is going to be even better. But it's also going to be a very different team because it's just how they're going to play is going to be different than how they're playing right now.
Yeah. Good question. I think. Well, I don't want to say I think. So far as like chemistry, you want to like be able to know like, all right, I'm at my best here. You're at your best there. So let's build on this. Like, but when you in and out of rotations, it's tough. But mentally, for where these kids should be at now, because once you start getting paid and all this stuff, you kind of expect the expectation. So it's like, all right, if you in, we're a better team. If you're out, we're a different team. But you
Yeah.
also give guys enough time to like, or more possessions to create or be a part of something like these games early, these Duke games, these North Carolina State games. It's like all like I talked to a few guys on the team. I know you guys probably see me working with Peterson and all that, but I worked with a lot of those guys, so I still kind of not kind of I still keep those conversations and communication.
Yeah.
So like I told a few players, I'm not gonna say any names. It's all connecting. You know what I'm saying? It's connecting from where you could be, because where they were practicing at and how they were practicing, it was like we're gonna give it to DP and everybody get out of this way.
Yeah.
Which is tough because they're like crashing out on DP defenders. Like I'm about to crash out on this screen or whatever this possession is. And it's like making him play a certain way, right? So it's like, is he doing great at it? Yes, he's doing great. For a guy who's hasn't been really in practice as much, and for sure in the games, he's adjusting. He's not looking like I'm 100 miles per hour. He's not looking anything like that. But what it does is it enables Trey to play with the ball. Melvin to have like, hey, I don't have to just like pass it to Peterson and DP and get out the way. You know what I'm saying? So it helps Melvin to get his feel. Cole, I think Cole is better with Darren Peterson in there because all attention is on me. All you gotta do is play hard,
Yeah.
catch the ball, be a receiver, not a creator. Right now, we
Yeah.
can work on that in practice and all that, but right now we need you to be a receiver, catch and shoot, minimalize more from you creating. That's about it.
I feel
Just
and
far
I
as
feel like
that.
his shots got to start falling. Like it looks
At
too
some point,
good.
right? You gotta
It's
just
crazy.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting out of hand. It's like, but he's supposed to be in. I don't want to make any excuses. He's supposed to be in 12th grade. It's another thing that you got to like look at when you're a coach. It's
Yeah.
like, what am I looking at? Like, am I looking at you had a good weekend here, or like let me look at how you process the game. Like with Kansas, the way they try to reverse the ball and get it to the third side, you got to be able to pass. So now I'm looking at passers. Can I dribble? Can a guy come off a ball screen and get it to the next side? So if I'm coach, I'm looking at stuff like that because I know who I am. Forget who you are, because once you get here, I'm gonna try to probably make you into where I want you to be, which is something that coach does. So I'm looking at how can I process the game? How can a kid process the game? How could can he get the ball to the second side, third side? Can he pass? So those type of things I think are big in recruitment for self, not just let me get a big name or the media is saying that you should do this. So, oh, we want this kid, you know. So
Yeah.
Cole
Yeah,
definitely should make more shots.
no, that's the thing with Cole is talking to people close to the program, and even I think I talked to you like just because there was so much unknown about the team. You get so many guys out of the portal, you haven't really seen them play. But that was one of the guys I think you said that I should be excited about, or we should be excited about, just his ability to shoot it. He's super athletic, and he's been doing all the small things right. You think it's just one of those things where he's got to get more comfortable, more game action under his feet?
No, it's not more game action. I think it'd be something personal with him. It won't be like game. A guy who I think needs game is more game time action is the big kid, Paul. Forgot his name. I think he should get more time. I think last night was a perfect opportunity to look, Flo, whatever you're gonna do, you need to do it fast because I need to get Paul in the game. He needs to be
Mhm.
playing 15 minutes. Like the guards, whatever you're gonna do, I need to get Cole Rosario in the game where he can get some like flow, because it's different between practice catching and shooting, or I'm in there catching and shooting like with the rest of the team with four other guys, or whatever he's doing with Coach Dooley. It's a difference in speed, you know what I'm saying? And physicality. I done bumped a couple guys, I done closed out and ran up and down the court and didn't get the ball a few times. Now I'm catching and shooting. That's the difference between like make 60 makes in whatever, however many minutes, 3 minutes, 55 makes in 3 minutes. It's a little different. So I would have been excited to see Paul get out there, Cole Rosario get out there. Like Trey, I want y'all to be ultra aggressive because I need these guys to get in the game so they can get some feel.
That's the thing about this team is like we haven't even seen Rosario really do anything much yet. Like he has not played at his full potential yet, and we know he can. Same with like Jaden Dawson, who I was very excited about. I felt like he was going to be a huge piece for this team, the shooting,
sure.
Him and Cole. And they both, I mean, Dawson's kind of battled injury a little bit, but like they both have not really found their stride yet. Now, I'm sure at a certain point with the way Self kind of he finds his like 7 or 8 guys, and once he has them, he doesn't run away from that. But I think this team becomes very different if you have a guy, either Rosario or Dawson, that can come in, make shots off the bench, and just add some more shooting. Because I think that's definitely a concern, as a lot of times it is the shooting from this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easily, like, if we sitting here talking, if we can get that, it'd be the best thing, right?
Yeah.
But reality is they're gonna have to get it themselves. 1, 2, it's a standard that you got to reach and practice with Coach Self before you get to the game. I don't know if you guys seen Tyrell Reed speak about this. Like, we had our games before the game when we were there.
Yeah.
Like, by the time we got to the game, we were only playing hard so Coach Self wouldn't get even more mad, you know what I'm saying? And the next day, so we was playing against him. We were never playing against a team unless it was maybe Big 12, Texas championship or something like that. Then will we actually be playing against a team? Anything else? Oh, we playing against Coach Self. So it's a standard that you got to reach and practice before it translates to the court. So when you see guys like 5 stars or remember MJ Rice and all these guys that will come here, it's like, even in what's the guy last year, number 4, Rakeed or something like that?
Rakeem Passmore?
Yes. It's a standard that you got to reach in practice, and you got to keep it at that level before you even be able to process the stuff going in a real game. So guys like Jaden, he a guy that I speak with, and his motor is just a little bit here. Like you see Cole Rosario motor up here, and he's trying to think so fast. Sometimes he's overthinking. Not sometimes, a lot of times. But a guy like Jaden, who's been around college and he knows now it's levels to being, it's a pro level, then it's like, are you actually in college level? Like some of these programs, like, you're in college. But when you get to Kansas or Duke or any of these type of, no, you're actually a pro now. And your mentality got to kind of be like that. So this is a standard. I got to get my body to a standard. So it's no like, because Coach Self is never going to teach all the other stuff because you don't have time. I'm not going to see you for 3 years or 4 years. I don't have time to let you grow like a Frank Mason or any of these guys. No, we need you now because next year you might leave us or we might depart from you. So it's a standard that you got to withhold. And physically, Cole has that, and Jaden just a little bit under there. But shot making, Jaden will make shots more than Cole, and just in my opinion. But can you tell that though? Like when Jaden is like, he has to be at 120% for him to be like.
Well, and I mean, what I always wonder with this, especially in like this new transfer portal world, it's like, I mean, you were recruited by Bill Self. I gotta imagine, and you've heard stories, like I gotta imagine Bill Self makes it clear to guys when he recruits them, like, I'm gonna push you. I'm going to make you play at the highest level, the hardest you've ever played. But then it still kind of surprises me, like, like a guy like AJ Store,
Yeah,
there was no way he was ever going to play at the level Bill Self wanted him to play from like a intensity and effort standpoint.
right.
So do you think guys just don't fully realize what it takes when they commit to Kansas? Or is Self kind of he's got to be a recruiter, he's got to be a salesman. Does he just think he can bring it out of them when they get here and then some guys just don't have it?
It's like I said, when we recruiting, you have to recruit like what does self like, and they do that to a certain extent. But sometimes people get desperate as well. Everybody's human, right?
Yeah.
And you self, I'm not about to be the head coach, the number one. And obviously, I'm gonna sign everything, but I'm not about to be the top recruiter here as well. So I gotta trust my staff to like go out and get some people that fit the bill. One, two, certain guys like was one thing I do give Darren Peterson credit for. He would make his own decision, obviously with the respect of his mom, father, and whoever else is in his camp. But he had a choice to choose a hometown, Ohio State, Kansas, whatever, right? But he
Yeah.
I want to go be coached by a guy, a Hall of Fame coach, and Bill Self. So it's like Coach Self is telling me this, but also my agent is telling me this. My mom is saying this. A guy who's my handler is saying, no, Kansas got the money, go to Kansas. Now, you forgot what Coach Self said to you. Like, hey, you have to bang, bang, bang. If
Yeah.
not, we're going to have to find, because the program has to move forward, not individual, not back of your name. It'd be Kansas has to move forward. So he always will let you know, like, hey, I'd rather just play with these guys that's going to play a certain way. So for AJ Store, if he'd have been a better defender, he'd have been able to like do more on the court because I'm out
Yeah.
there more and I can express my art instead of just what are you
Yeah.
saying? I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. So it's just about really just getting those reps out there and meeting the standard and keeping it there with Coach Self.
Yeah. Hey, we'll always have that Big 12 tournament quarterfinal game where AJ Store, what do you what did he score in that game? B-turn like
Was that the UCF game?
I don't know. He just
He had a
randomly
pretty
was
good game that game. It was like 20 something. Then the next game he played good, I believe, versus Arizona, but it
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
the
it's Arizona.
same didn't have the same leash he had with him.
Yeah.
But then the first round of the NCAA tournament played well as well.
Yeah.
And for me,
Arkansas
what I
game.
was telling them as well, like, I mean, a lot of people don't know that I speak with the coaches a lot and players. Not even just
Yeah.
now, just since probably since 2011, I've been coming back, hooping with the team and doing a lot with the team.
Yeah.
So we kind of built a trust and, being a loyal KU guy, because everybody's not loyal that
Hmm.
play basketball there, right? So, so I would tell them like, hey, the best way right now for just position you in right now is to be able to get everybody get everybody across the street. So if you gotta give AJ Store a little bit of leeway just for him to feel better about himself so you can get the best. Because what we really trying to do is get the best out of the guys that we
Hmm.
have there. So
Yeah.
would it be a traditional way every time? No. You're not coaching Brandon Rush. You're not coaching Mario Chalmers and something like that. So guys like that. So sometimes you have to be like, all right, this is what I have. I have to coach the team that I have in front of me. Not, hey, this is what we do. Obviously, this is a standard, but this is what we do. But
Yeah.
by me doing this, that, and the third with you, it may not work out for the team. So how can I get you to play your best? And I just think that's something that coach got to do because, hey, we're in this thing called the game and life that we got to continue to get better, right? Every day.
Yeah.
It's not like what I did yesterday. So I think that's a big thing for coach as well.
Yeah.
So I guess with DP, obviously there's people are saying whatever they want to say. But can you just kind of touch on how competitive of a person he is?
He an old school guy. His mindset. He's not caught up into like I can't say all the details of what he has in his like contract or whatever it's a different time, right? But one thing I do know, he keep the main thing the main thing. He cares about getting better, and he cares about competing. So he hurt. Trust me, he trying to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Like, I know I had hamstring, but I never asked him anything about where his hamstring injury is. I know they were saying it was a quad thing. Me personally, looking at his body, and I know his diet as well, I think he's a little bit too slim right now. He changed his diet because he's reaching and pushing for greatness outside of Kansas. And he talks about generational type of stuff. And his
Yeah.
team expect generational type of stuff.
Mhm.
Kansas is a crossroad for him, where he's like a checkpoint, and his heart is in Kansas. And we were speaking in like October and September. The only thing he was talking about was trying to get Kansas to back to where the standard that they were. And he was like,
Yeah.
I have big shoulders for that. So for me, I'm like, dang, because as a player and how much they expect from him, you want to be prepared. And how you prepare is by being on the court. And it's just
Yeah.
different between what he got to do and what somebody else got to do. So it's a lot of preparation in that. So I would commend him on being ready, because I know guys and NBA guys that were like, hey, I feel good, but I'm not in shape. So I'm like,
Yeah.
like when you see a Kawhi Leonard or a Paul George, then they're like be looking good, but they're not about to play for another week or two. It's because like, I got to be in shape and I got to be able to handle a lot of stuff, not just get out there like it's the early '90s and I just need to play hard, because the game is a
Yeah.
little different from I just need to play hard and give my heart. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's not like that. The team is
And
better with them though.
yeah.
I
But
just
the
before this, me and Rye were talking, and just I understand people being frustrated. Fans, they want to see him
Yeah,
play. They saw the glimpses, they've heard everything
for sure.
people have said about him. So, but me and Rye are just like, there's no point for him to be sitting. Like, he could cost himself money, whether it's first pick, fifth pick, whatever, or he didn't have to go to college, period. So everything I've heard is he's just hurt. Like, it's not that he doesn't want to be out there. I think he has a great grasp of the history at KU, like you talked about. He knows exactly
Mhm.
what Bill wanted from him before he got here. So
Right.
I get fans being frustrated, but
and
he's like,
and
the dude's hurt.
the thing is, like, everyone, I'll be honest, when he sat out versus UConn and self said, he's 95%, I did have like that moment of like, whoa, is this actually going to be a thing where he truly just sits out for the rest of the year?
Right.
But he came back, he played against Missouri, clearly wasn't like, you even said it, he's not probably going 100%. He's definitely not his full self. And then he plays 31 minutes at NC State. Like, he's clearly trying to play. Do I think he's probably being cautious? Yes, as he should. But I think all the stuff, like, we had that few week stretch where people really thought he was just kind of like purposely
Yeah.
sitting out,
Right.
I think's crazy. And the other thing about it is he's been compared to AJ DeBonsa. I never know how to say DeBonsa. Is that how you
Yeah,
say it?
Devonta. Yeah.
He's been compared to him for the last 2 years. Like, he's competitive and he wants to be the number one pick. And I
Hmm.
think if he were to just not play the rest of the year, I really think he'd have a hard time going one over the other two guys if those guys end up playing the rest of the year and make a good, have a good March tournament run and stuff like that. So I think he has to want to be out there. I'm a little shocked people still think he's purposely or just being lazy or, not
Mm.
bought in.
No, he's definitely bought in. And I talked to him about like, it's certain guys that was one and done here that they had clap for him, but then there's some beloved guys here. So what you do here does count, whether it's a year, whether it's 3 years. So I'm like, bro, when you leave here, you go have your career and all of that. People gonna chant and cheer for you here about because of what you did here. Like certain guys, are they proud to have Joel Embiid as an MVP and killing it in the league? Yeah, younger kids do. You know what I'm saying? But the people that really matter and that count, it's really about like what you did here. You know what I'm saying? So he understands that, and I'm just like, being immortal at Kansas is a little different, bro. And he knows that. What I would say is Kyrie Irving, same thing. Is he JJ Redick? No. Is he Jay Will? No. But was he able to be the number one pick? Yes, because AJ, they can do whatever they want to do. Caleb Williams, the kid from Duke, Carlos Boozer's son, Caden, or Cameron, whichever one. I think it's Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron Boozer, Williams, all these guys. What you do in May, in June, that's what's going to really matter. Like, these games are great, but how you look, your preparation, obviously what you're saying in the media and all of that counts more, not more than college. But being ready now is great, but being ready when they actually evaluating you, they scouting you, but when they evaluating and seeing where you at compared to these guys and all that. So if he play, obviously I would love him to play every last game, especially the ones in the Big 12. I would play him not 31 minutes. I'm not saying those mismanaged minutes, but I'm not playing you like that. You're not about to go from not playing to we're gonna act like you was never like hurt. You know, you starting and you playing 31 minutes and and he was telling them like, hey, I feel a little bit, but we're not trying to get to that point where it's a pain threshold.
Yeah.
So I just think, hey, you're gonna play from the 20. If you start and you play 17 minutes, 16 minutes, you coming out. We're gonna manage this the right way. I'm not gonna let you play 31 minutes. I ain't saying he played 31 straight minutes, but like, you got to get that hamstring loose and going and all of that. You can't sit on the sideline while everybody warm up, because you got to get your muscles fibers. You got to get those going. You can't just, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Skill-wise, yes.
I think Bill has a hard time with minute restrictions, and because I think when he likes how things are going on the court and he thinks the guy's giving himself the best chance to win, I think it's really hard for him to take a guy out. And so,
yeah, man,
I don't know.
But you got coaches. You got Curtis Townsend. Then you got Kurt, Jeremy, Self, Jock, Dooley, T. Bland. Couple more seats down, you got Doc Sadler.
Doc.
Behind them, you got guys that's writing stuff down. You got KJ back there. You got my guy Andrew back there, and then you got I forgot the young lady's name. That's the whatever, I forgot what she does. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Direct that basketball ops. I'm not saying she's keeping up with all that, and she has that much power, but it's a lot going on. Like, hey, coach, like Dooley got coach's ear, Jock and Case has coach's ear. It's time for him to go. And Self is not as strong as he was back then, where it's like, I got it. I can run all of this, which he can, he does sometimes. I got it all. Nobody say nothing. I got it. He's not doing that. He's more like lenient to like listening to like people. He's a little different. He's definitely not the same guy we know.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have brought in a guy like Jock Vaughn if he wasn't like wanting input from his staff. Speaking of that, like, what do you think, as someone that's around the program, how does a guy like Jock Vaughn coming on board compared to, he's just a different type of coach compared to like Townsend and Robert? Like, he was coaching Kevin Durant, 5 years ago? So like, do you feel like that's changing anything, like how practices go? Or is I would love to see him like bring some different offensive, I don't know, style to the program, but have you heard anything about like if he has what he's kind of changed within the program since he's been here?
Self is Coach Self is a different type of guy. So it's not much he's going to be able to, he can recommend, he can write a couple of notes, slip them on Coach desk, but to like actually change, nah, that's not saying that's a bad thing, but you just got to do it like when no one's looking, I guess. It's like, I got to do the extra. I got to go the extra mile to get the program moving forward, because it may not be, hey, do this. And coach going to be like accepting to that. Like, oh, yeah, okay, great. You play here in 99 or 96, great, I'm going to listen to everything you're saying. Or you coach KD, great, I'm going to listen to everything you're saying. Because there's a difference between college and, especially at KU, it's college and then it's pro stuff. So you want to like let the pro guys, if you have one or two, operate like a pro. Everybody else, we're going to do college, which I don't think is the greatest thing, but Jock with Darren Peterson, stuff like it, that's where he comes in. Hey, the angle on that, how to be a better player, not necessarily team stuff. Obviously, they all in there congregating and, coming up with schemes and tactics and all of the stuff they do. But I believe if you got a scoring point guard, a good wing, and a lob threat, something has to happen. I keep hearing offensively, we're not good offensively, or even the people on the media say they get stagnant. I just believe you got to be able to have something. Well, what are we really doing? Like, I'm going to ask you guys, what do y'all really think KU is playing into? Like, what are they doing when they come down? Just dribble drive, read and react? What do you guys see?
Oh, you're asking the wrong dude. I don't know. I mean,
what do you think Kansas is usually doing? What they're doing now? What are they doing more this year than they did last year?
I think they're actually I think Council is playing more, to use the term Bill Self always used, playing more downhill. He's like more aggressive. He's getting into the paint. He's taking shots when they're there, whether or not they're always going to go in. I don't know. But I think this team just has more guys that are looking to score and looking to attack compared to last year. You had DeJuan, who did not want to score, just didn't look for a shot. KJ, who really wasn't, he was fine, but he wasn't a threat outside of 2 feet from the basket.
10-foot floaters, lobs.
Yeah. And then Zeke was great, but he was kind of just a shooter. And so when you have KJ and DeJuan, that kind of hurts a guy like Zeke. And so I think this team's they're definitely better at attacking, playing, trying to get downhill, get aggressive, but it's still I think about that UConn game.
Yeah, the last second.
It's just it was a helpless feeling of who's going to go get a bucket right now.
Right.
Yeah, Melvin was just pounding it, which that is one of my, I guess, worries about Trey White is I think he's an awesome player, but down the stretch, especially without DP, he hasn't really been hunting shots. And he's a guy who can get to the line. At least he showed it this year.
Yeah.
As well as anyone at KU Bill talked about the last 2 years, how they couldn't get to the free throw line. There's just guys that wouldn't attack and get downhill. So Trey has been pretty elite at getting to the line. But you think about the UConn game, I think he took 3 shots the entire game. Felt like he was kind of non-existent down the stretch against Duke. And then obviously Melvin against NC State, you probably won it in his hands, but it didn't feel like Trey was really involved offensively late in the game. So I trust, and he shot it a lot better this year than he did at Illinois. And so I trust Trey with the ball in his hands. I want it in his hands. I don't feel like Melvin needs to force.
You're right. I think.
But Rio, are you kind of getting at just like Bill running the same sets for so long? Like, I mean, he has ran the same
Yeah.
stuff and it
Oh
works.
wow.
Like Bill's known to be one of the greatest X and O's guys out of the timeout guys, and I feel like that maybe it hasn't been as good the last 2 years, but maybe it was a personnel thing because last year so many times late in games they'd call timeouts, you come out and DeJuan would just pound it because he's not going to create, or he'd throw it out of bounds. So I don't know if it was a personnel thing, and Ryan, I don't even know if you agree with that, but it felt like every time we'd come out of timeouts or try to run something late to tie it or win, they did
Yeah.
not.
I get you. You definitely in the ballpark. Yeah. I ain't saying if you on base or not, but you in the ballpark. Just because I obviously my loyalty is to the program. But
Hey,
I will
mine
be
too.
honest. I got to be honest with y'all. I will be honest. I won't say it brutally. Maybe it all depends on what day it is, if I'm mad or not. But um, when I look at other teams, I see more spacing. Um, I see more driving lanes. I see guys able to make a play. So if I'm getting trapped or a hard hedge, and or you getting trapped and I'm the screener, it's just certain things that, okay, let me rewind this. So a few years ago when the year Grady Dick was there and
McCall or Jay Will.
yep, Jay Will, it was just certain things that I would see, like if when they were preparing to play Duke, forces you baseline on the ball screens. They like push baseline on side ball screens. So they don't let you go middle. So they're trying to like do that to me. And I'm whatever, I forgot which player I was, And I'm just like, it's a lot goes on with just you saying, hey, we're going to send you baseline. So just the tactical part, get your chest on my shoulder and force me that way. Or if they in a hard hedge, me playing in Greece, I told them like, I played for one of the best defensive coaches. So obviously I have to know offensively. In Europe though, not to my college or anything. So it's just certain things you got to know. Like if it's a hard hedge, short roll, throwback. If it's a trap, if I can beat it with a face pass, which is getting it from this wing to the next wing fast, like what Kansas used to do with the bigs, with Shady and all of those, and Sasha, when you hard hedge, they kick it to the other big and they throw in a lob. They did that to Memphis a lot. Like if I can get that pass, I break the whole defense down. So I would just let them know, like, as a point guard, bro, like you gotta already know if they're in hard hedge, get rid of it. Like if I'm KJ last year and I know they hard hedging, I'm just gonna short roll, get the ball. Now I'm playing 3-on-2, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, 4-on-3. And I just felt like they never was able to understand that aspect. And walk them up the lane and do all this stuff what D-Man used to have, Danny Manning used to do for guys like the Twins and Thomas and all of those guys. They don't really have that technique that can go in between the threads of and the layers of, no, this is what's happening. Like the David McCormick stuff, he'd have been better if you had a guy like Coach Manning or Wayne Simeon, like maybe one of the Morris twins. That helping those like little small things. It ain't just drop step hook. That ain't the game. It's not that easy. I train people every day. It's the reason why I was a little late. So it's just that conversation that Danny Manning was able to have with Thomas Robinson. And you were able to see a really good product. If T-Rob was at Kansas now, he wouldn't have been a 5th draft pick. He would have been a senior, He would have been playing in Europe fast. He probably wouldn't have played in the NBA at all. So it's just those little small things that, like when me and the twins was there for like 3 days, we came back and we were able to give them some of the best work they were able to get within that short amount of time. And hey, take this and try to do what you can do, because when we come back, obviously we can do more, but we're not going to stick around. you know.
Why do you? I mean, that's always been a topic of conversation of Danny Manning. I mean, it really was an absurd stretch we had with the Twins, T. Rob, Cole
Jeff Withy.
Aldridge, Jeff
Yeah.
Withy, and then
Yeah.
obviously Danny Manning goes. He becomes a head coach. Obviously,
Mhm.
he had to try that. Didn't work out. Why do you think he's never come back? Do you think it's just timing, not having a spot on the staff, but we did just
Timing.
have a staff open up?
It's time. I mean, it's a lot of variables that can go into that now. But definitely timing is one. Two is like Coach Manning was really put on for Kansas as a player and as a coach. He's
Yeah.
beloved. So it's certain ways you have to like go about that. So I
Mhm.
can't just come like, hey coach, I need a job. Like it has to be like you gotta meet me somewhere. So it won't be just like, hey coach, I want to come back. Yeah, sure, we love to have you, but we want to put you here. It has to be like we have to meet each other on a certain level. And what D Man, because you see what D Man doing over there at Colorado. They didn't win a lot of games, but they bigs, they players are nice over there. I don't know if they're doing this year. I haven't really been following. But last
Yeah.
year they got he put guys in the league and he give guys footwork and patience.
Yeah.
So
No.
patience is everything. I can do whatever I want to do. If I'm not patient enough, then because it's not just one, two, three, obviously. So when you see a guy like D Man don't come back, it's just because things has to be right, or at least
Mhm.
go about it the right way. And then everybody, Kansas is a hot commodity job. Like it's a big time job. You can go from Kansas, you can go anywhere in college after
Yeah.
Kansas,
There's
especially if things are going
a
well.
lot of former players trying to get on staff and stuff.
Oh my God, everybody trying to get on the staff.
Julian Wright.
Drew Wright want to get on the
Oh,
staff. Yeah, I know y'all seen that. I kind of had to tell him like, calm down, bro. Don't do yourself like that. Like, I understand what you mean. Like, you got a point, but it's just like there's ways to go about it. Like, I rock with Julian. I always like Julian. He was a junior when I was a sophomore in high school, and we played for the same AAU team. So I've been knowing Julian Wright since I was a sophomore. Really looked up to him as a player. You know, he was number one in
yeah.
the country. He was number one for sure, number one player in the state. So I looked up to him. I watched him a lot. Like we was on the road together. Like I played with 17 under and 16. So when I go over there, I'm just looking like those guys. You know, they're older than me. They ranked high, and so Julian Wright is just a guy that a passionate guy about the game that want to give it back a certain way. And I don't know if he went about it the right way, but everybody got love for Julian, and everybody's dealing with 2025 going into 2026, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're a doctor, whether you do construction, whether
Yeah.
you're a garbage truck guy or media personality. Everybody's trying to like deal with 2025 and where the nation is, where people are in this world, period, mentally.
Yeah.
So definitely got to give grace to everybody, whether it's Coach Self, whether it's Darren Peterson, whether it's Julian Wright, whether it's
Yeah.
the guys that's here. That's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
How much how much do you think the lack of spacing has to do with the lack of shooters on the roster?
I mean, the beauty thing about basketball, whatever you take away, something opens up. You know what I'm saying? So if we can't shoot, we gotta find a way to get something going. Whether we can last year, that I feel like they couldn't. They shot worse last year. I don't know how did they shoot last year? Because I know AJ didn't play it much, and his shot wasn't the greatest
Ryland
looking
didn't shoot it
shot.
well.
Ryan didn't shoot it well.
I think Zeke's probably the only guy on the
Zeke, the only
roster.
person that he wasn't even supposed to start last year. You
Exactly.
know, so and you can see that in this play once, like, hey, you doing really well, and now we're going to focus in on you. So it's going to be a physicality thing with, I should tell him, like, it's going to be a physicality thing with you. Like, if you trying to come off a handoff with Hunter and they blow the screen up, they win because guess what? Now he has to reverse pivot and find Dewan Dixon. And what are we going to get out of that? So I used to let him know, like, hey, bro, you got to really, really, but thing about it is I ended up leaving and never coming back until Big 12. So I felt bad, like I was gonna come back and really work with um what's the kid's name? The local kid again. I forgot his name.
Zeke.
See?
Zeke. I
Yeah.
was gonna work with him. I was gonna work with AJ, and then Riley could shoot it. His footwork wasn't great. Terrible
Yeah.
footwork. You got to be able to set your shot. His shot looked good, just his feet. He was always off balance and falling and all of that. Um, so them two, and then just the way Zeke had to use the ball screen, I was going to work on some things with him. But I've been telling since Juan was a sophomore, I've been telling the people on the staff like he has to develop a real good floater because he's trying to throw so many lobs. It's like how stupid you think people are. Like if he can get in the air and make a decision like I'm gonna shoot the floater and throw the lob, that'll open his game up a little bit more. Obviously, him shooting, but I don't know if guys is really trying to get better like that. Like Peterson, he in that gym. Is why
Yeah.
I gravitated to him because I extended my hand to everybody. Like, hey, Flo, I used to play the same position as you, bro. Like, believe it or not,
Yeah.
Peterson, Trey made sure I still talk with Trey. Me and Trey talk mostly before every game just about how to, navigate a lot. And then we're gonna even do more now. So just be on the lookout for how he perform.
So I got a question for you
Yeah,
because I've always thought about this with looking back on when you were at Kansas, you were
yeah,
on some of the most stacked teams of the Self era. You've got the Morris twins, you've got T
mhm,
Rob, got, stacked teams.
for sure.
Have you ever thought about, because I've thought about this for you, what you would have looked like on some other Kansas
For
teams?
sure.
Like I legitimately think like if you put you on last year's team or
Few of those teams.
2012, even though 2012 was
2012,
really good,
exactly.
they needed a scorer. But like I think you would
Yeah.
have been like a
Cooking something
15 plus points a game guy.
easily.
Yeah.
Ask Self about that. He'll tell you if he being honest. He know. Thing is, so I didn't get a job in Europe until December 22nd, 2012. So I spent a lot of time with Kansas from whatever, October, September, whatever, to December. So I was able to like practice and really prepare them for like, because I don't know if you guys remember, they didn't have a great looking team
No,
preseason.
Ben and Jamari were
Ben and
ruled
Jamari didn't
ineligible, and
play,
then
and then the
there's no
rest of those
bench.
guys were like Kevin Young. He played hard. He came from LMU. They just play a different level of basketball, which he
Justin
played
Wesley was
so
getting
hard.
minutes.
Wesley was getting minutes versus
T
Duke.
Ham was the sixth man. Oh
T
yeah, and
Han
Maui.
was like almost starting. Like, Tyshawn was like figuring out like, oh, Self is not gonna like take me out or yell at me. So I can really, really like so that didn't he didn't really get that type of confidence until like January, December, when Tyshawn is like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm gonna stay on the court. And then Elijah Johnson didn't really come into his own. So I was on helping those guys out that year. It's been a couple years that me and Self or me and Dooley will be like, yeah, if you were on this team. But I just feel like that 2010 and 11 team, Self has just had his mind made up, man. Like, I don't know if you guys really like notice. Playing in Kansas was easy for me. I just didn't play a lot of minutes, but it
Yeah.
was always easy. Like
Oh,
whatever
you
we were trying
score.
to
I
do,
feel
it
every
wasn't
shot
it
you
wasn't
took,
hard
you
for
made.
me. Huh?
I legitimately, all I remember is you making every shot you took. Like I'm legitimately curious what your field goal percentage was that year because
You
it
probably
was
know.
it was crazy efficient.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it was pretty like it's like Self just had it in his mind that I only cared about scoring. I should try to let him know, like, bro, if I played more, I would do more. But if I'm getting 5 minutes here, I'm going to be like, I'm shooting the same shots you just told the Twins to shoot. Like, so I got to shoot and I'm making them. So it's like, I'll be 2 for 3 at halftime, 4 for 5 sometimes. And it's to be like, yeah, bro, try to do something else. And I'm just like, all right, I ain't going to spill too much beans on that. Because,
Well,
man,
you shot 50% from the floor your 2 years at Kansas. You shot
Jesus.
51% in the 08-09 season, and then 2010, 2011, you shot 48. So basically averages out to 50. As a guard, well, I don't know. What would you even classify yourself as? I don't really
Man, I didn't play the guard. Man, I came here to play the 3. I could have played the 2, but I came to play the 3. If you ever seen any of my stuff past Kansas, you'll be like, who is this guy? Like even when they post like Mario Little Kansas, I cringe because I know that's not me.
Yeah.
So me making hook shots and all that, that's just I cringe at stuff like that. Like if you seen like guys that be like, you played at Kansas, like, yeah, I was the number 23 guy that was undersized post. And they'd be like, no, I really can't believe this. Like people would try to engage me in conversations about Kansas that I always ignore because of my loyalty and my love to the program and Coach Self. So I don't never go down that rabbit hole. I was on Tyshawn's pod before and he was trying to drag me down there and I'm just like, bro, I'm not doing it. Like,
hey, ain't no seats pods. The pod you people let it
for
spill.
sure. I'm rocking with it. But I played the 4 at Kansas. I played the 3 sometimes, like I feel like I could have played it way more and then I'd have been able to score more, which would have led to easier passing. Like when Brady and Tyrell would and Brady was a great creator. He can shoot it, he can pass it, he can do a lot of things. Tyrell was more of a catch and shoot guy, post feed, ball mover. I just know if those guys were like the guys I was competing against, it'd have been easier to get on the court. But the landscape was painted as I need to battle with the Twins, battle with Thomas and all of these guys. I'm just like, come on. Like I'm nice, but these guys are taller. Like I'm 6'5", Twins is 6'8" and 6'9". T-Rob is 6'8". Or if they want to say 6'9", 6'10", whatever they want to say. So it was an uphill battle. The practice was harder, but it was just so easy for me to score. It was just like the guy that y'all seen me on the court, was a guy that was playing like, if I make this shot, great. If I miss, or even if I make the shot, it's like, you ever seen Coach Carter when he was looking at the kid like, hey, you made the 3, but I don't want you to play like that. Yeah. So it was a little different. It's like, yeah, then I get the garbage points. A lot of times I have like 10 points. I remember at Baylor, I played 7 minutes. Thomas Robinson played 8 minutes, and the Twins were playing out their mind, right? So they deserved to play. I just thought there should be more time for everybody, right? We all was, doing our thing. I had.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I had 10 points in 7 minutes. T-Rob had like 2 points in 8 minutes. And he's so mad. He's threatening to leave, all type of stuff, right? And I'm just like, dude, I'm the one that should be mad. Like, I had 7 in 10 minutes, bro. Like, and I never forget getting on the plane, Coach met me and was like, dang, or you just found a way to get him up. I'm just like, what you want me to do, man? Like,
so
10 points
you had
in 7 minutes. I feel like I should be getting a handshake.
You had 17 points against Missouri at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you get a lot of minutes? I'm trying to see how many minutes.
You got to come in smoking hot. I came in
minutes.
I came in like
3 for 3 from 3.
It was like some godly stuff happening. Like if you really go down, like, because I shoot it, go right in. I got a tip in like this, and I was like almost outside of the paint, and it went right in. It just came over, and I just tipped it like this, and it just went in. So I'm just like, oh, it's one of those days. And as a player, you get so many of those, not so many of those. Those one of those games where I'm just like, yeah, every shot I take, I might make. So, and I'm getting opportunity because we were struggling
Yeah.
that game.
Well, to me, like the ultimate Mario Little memory is one, were you fouled in that UCLA game? Was that a foul?
No, I really was fouled. I ran to those guys a couple of times as well throughout my pro career. It was a foul. Shit, he called it, but he definitely fouled me. It was Malcolm
I
Lee.
think that.
I
I
remember
can't
him.
even remember. So what? We threw a full court pass, right? Or
No, we didn't throw a full court pass. See, this is what used to happen. This is honestly what kind of same thing that happened when we played VCU.
Ugh.
One of our guards, every time he take the ball out, it was just like panic mode. And they ended up turning the ball over. Rest in peace, Tyler Honeycutt. He got the ball and he was smoking hot that game. Brady was on him. Brady told me not to switch, so I stayed home, and then Marcus switched late. And he was hot. Made it 3. They took it out. Marcus dribbling, and I'm wide open. If you really look, I'm open. I'm like, if you kick it, I'm about to be Mario Chalmers in here. But he tried to go for his. Ball found me anyway. And I seen Malcolm Lee coming. So I just grabbed it and I seen it. And, obviously.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of like a loose ball type.
Yeah,
thing,
Marcus dribbled it up and got the ball taken out of pluck. And I got the ball. And funny thing is, I was in the game and Tyshawn dropped a dime on me. And I missed the layup. I got it back and went up again and missed, right? These guys are tall, so I can barely see the rim. So I remember Coach calling a timeout and cursing me out. So crazy, like,
Red face.
why do you gotta like play like that? Why you couldn't just like this, then the third, right? He was just cooking me, right? And then as soon as I got that foul, he was like, yeah, but like winking his eyes, smacking me like, yeah, but yeah, you stud.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, last time I was over
Yeah,
here, you was
bud.
just telling me how bad I was.
Yeah, but
But nah, it was a good game.
Honeycutt had 33, by the way.
Yeah, he had 33.
And the field
we put him in the NBA. That game sent them to the NBA.
I mean, I was always impressed you made those free throws. Like, that's a crazy hard spot to be in. But that's
I
what
never
Mario
really
Little did
cared.
at Kansas. He made shots.
Yeah, I never really what I was battling wasn't like I'm nervous for the game or I'm nervous to do well. My battles were different, so the game was never like, oh, I'm frantic. I remember we was in the Big 12 tournament, we were playing Oklahoma State, and I was able to make plays then late while everybody was frantic and all of that. And I mean, it helped me throughout my pro career because fourth quarter, I always turned into a different person, or like end of the shot clock, I was always good at that professionally. So, I mean, it helped me out. So, like I said, great times at Kansas, could have been better. But yeah, I'm still lucky.
Unfortunately, we have an ongoing joke on this podcast that we bring up either 2011 VCU or 2017 Oregon every single episode. Somehow we weave it into a conversation because I think we're so scarred by those games, because I still swear by, not to like pour salt in the wound, but like 2011 Kansas.
The Twins were taking us wherever.
The national championship. Like, I think you guys make the Final Four and win both games by double digits to win the national championship.
That title game was terrible.
We feel the same way. I just know Tyshawn Taylor and how when he come up against like people from New York or Jersey, he becomes the player that we all see him as when he's at his best. So I just know what he was going to do with UConn and Kemba Walker and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we would have beat UConn because of
Shabazz
we
on that
matched
team?
up. Who?
Shabazz Napier?
Shabazz Napier was he probably was. I think Jeremy Lamb was there, maybe.
I think the final score of that It was
DeAndre Daniels was there too.
Butler, UConn. It was like 53.
No, I don't think DeAndre was that.
41.
That wasn't 2014, was it?
Oh,
I
maybe
think-
Daniels played with
He
Shamar.
played, when they played
with
Kentucky.
Napier and the guy from Chicago, Ryan.
Boatwright.
Boatwright.
Yeah, they played Kentucky in the championship, I think.
Yeah. But no, I think we'd have beat them. But what do you think about? I understand the Oregon game, but what about 2010, bro?
Wow,
dude, that's the most talented
Iowa.
team.
Well, we were number one in the country.
Yeah, we gotta ask you about that team, because I, just from being around like Ty, Sharon, I can get over that loss more now, because the way they talk about that group is kind of like they butted heads all year. Or I know some stuff was going on with Carl Henry saying shit about CJ and how he's better than Sharon. And
to add to that,
Xavier had to be a one and done, because that was Bill's like first big time.
So he had to.
So he had to get him looks, and that was Sharon's final year. He came back for that year, supposed to be his team. So
there's a lot going on. I mean, what you gonna say? What you gonna say, Ryan? Before I comment
well,
on that?
I was just gonna add to that, because I think a lot of KU fans think that 2010 team was the one that had the biggest missed opportunity, which they did. But like, to me, after having conversation with Tyshawn on this show and Sharon and others, like that 2011 team seemed like the closer knit, ready to win a national title team than the 2010. So like, weirdly, I've gotten more over Northern Iowa, and that VCU game hurts more. But they both hurt really bad, because neither team had business.
But at the time, I think you and I hurt me more. Like, Sharon's an all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Like, seeing him go and not make the second weekend. You guys lost what, like 2-3 games before that? Oklahoma
that was
State.
our third game we lost. Those years, we didn't lose many games. Like, my last year was 2011. I think we lost 3 games, right?
Yeah, we went you guys went 66-6 over 2 years, I think, and didn't win a national. That just sucks. Like, that's
I know, bro. And when you get close, the VCU hurt because we were close. Like, it's one more game. It's not like another weekend, like it was with
you guys were 35-2 before the VCU game.
And what's crazy is
33-2 before you and I.
And that's one time I was like, I don't know, coach. Like, he panicked. What's crazy is nobody knows this. The only players talk about this. So look, we the game before that was Richmond. And Richmond was doing this little thing where they were like getting themselves like, turned up.
In the tunnel?
And we're like, me, Twins, and T-Robert in the back. You got Elijah, you got Tyshawn, and you got Josh Selby. Put a star right there by that name, Josh Selby. Josh Selby up there in the front. We like, yo, what's taking y'all so long? Like, we got to get out to the court. We got, we locked in. And then we look and see what was going on, right? So we kind of got into like a little, I don't know, altercation with them. So we ended up getting through, right? So we ended up meeting their energy. Their energy was like, forget y'all. So our energy was like, all right, it's more than just X and O. It's more, it's about something extra. So we ended up winning that game. The next day, we didn't get the best press on that. So we had to battle press. We had to battle an angry coach. And that kind of made our demeanor a little different the next game, which should have been forget everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So instead of like celebrating, like,
was there a sense of overlooking VCU too?
We wasn't overlooking. We were just like, first thing Marcus said to them dudes, ain't no more Cinderella. That Cinderella shit over with, right? But they came out and matched us. So it was like 6 to whatever. We went on a little run. They went on a run. It was like literally like 6-6, 6-8. I remember Coach Self saying, "Yeah, we're gonna lose this game." We like, man, what you want? Like, what's? And then I
I just
sub
see him
in.
saying that.
Yeah, I sub in. I make a move, and I get like whatever need or whatever. I'm being real detailed, and I reverse pivot. I may have stepped out of bounds. When I say I look up and I couldn't believe I was coming out, and like the game before that had like 8 or 10 points on Richmond, which was all like quick shots. Like I'm in here too. Everybody's cooking. I'm cooking as well. Like 10 points, but. So I just couldn't believe like the way the team was playing, and when he usually put me in like that is usually like, all right, go ahead, do your thing. So once he did that, subbed me out, and I was like, oh, he panicking a little, not panicking. I take that back. Whatever word I can use, that's better than panic. He was just a little different that game. We were
Was
always a little different.
and I think we've talked to Tyrell Reed about this, but like in those moments where you're the favorite, the crowd, even though it probably was more KU fans in the building, but then those other fan bases
Cheer against KU.
start to turn on you, or just the casual fan, or you
Sure.
start to just feel that upset. The whole building changes, and I don't know, like that. You definitely could tell that there was panic setting in that game, and I think VCU was just a weird, different style of team.
Even Shaka
and a ton
Smart.
of momentum.
Ton of momentum, and even Shaka Smart. He's like one of the players. He's like one of the
On
players.
the
He's
court.
over there, like real active, and
6'8".
that's how we wanted to be. Like how they can be now is how we always wanted to be. Like let us be ourselves. I would have loved for me, Marcus, Keith, to be on the court. Like we probably did that one time.
Yeah.
The whole season. Both of the twins, me at the 3, maybe Brady or Tyrell at the 2, and then Tyshawn at the 1. We never tried any of those lineups. It was just like me, twins, Thomas, all, basically fight for 2 spots. Then you got Jeff, who wasn't going to get no time there, and that was basically it that could, compete for that spot. I just think that's one thing I thought we should have been better at. Like, if we can play, let's see how it looked with me, Tyshawn, Selby, and the twins. I just feel like if you get some type of flow in that, that's a hard team to beat. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Tyrell and Brady are great Jayhawks, and they deserve everything that they got. You know what I'm saying? But I just was curious to see, like, let's see, like, not just the twins, Brady, Tyrell, and Tyshawn. Let's just try to mix it up a little bit to see something a little different. If you got a guy like Selby, which
what was the deal with him that year? Was he just banged up throughout the year? I forget.
It was just so much back and forth with. I just feel like there was unnecessary stuff, but it was a different time. It's 2011. It's not like if Selby was in 2020, 16, anything. This is like, hey, we're gonna let you really be you. So it's just a whole bunch of like, unfortunate cases that could have been, a little bit better. Is the Brennan Green, is that year they were on the team? Is that the year you talking about with Oregon?
That was Josh Jackson's.
Josh Jackson, Frank Mason, Devontae Graham.
Yeah, I think that was that year. I always say when you got a team like that, something you gotta, and it's tough to win, but you gotta be a little bit more successful when you got those type of guys. Like even with Wiggins and them and Perry Ellis and all of that. It's like you should be able to beat Stanford. You know what I'm saying? I know Stanford zoned in on this, and then I just felt like
Wiggins had how many? Right?
The wrong people were in the middle breaking that down.
4 points against Stanford.
Yeah, I just feel like if Coach would let Perry be in the middle and play that zone instead of like Jamari. Like Jamari's not he don't have the same touch as Perry or the same passing ability and all that. He's a dog. So I feel like that was an unfortunate loss as well. That they could have got past Stanford.
I just looked at the VCU game, 2 for 21 from 3. And I didn't realize, right, we were 15 for 28 from the line. That's like the Syracuse national title game from 03.
Yeah.
15 for 28?
That to me is just
2 for 21 from 3 is impossible.
That's a mental thing. Like, there's no way that team had way too good of shooters to go 2 of 21 like that.
Wow, Selby got it. Selby got 3 threes up, 0 for 3.
Yeah, I didn't score that game either, but it's just like the momentum.
Only 5 minutes.
Selby?
You only got 5 minutes.
Right.
Elijah played 6. I didn't even think Elijah played on that team much.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to go with his 6, which was Thomas, which Thomas got in foul trouble. And the twins, Brady, Tyrell, and Tyshawn. But what really cooked us was, if you actually go back, and I never seen the game, but if you actually go back, we got we were down 14 and a half. So we were about to tie the game up. I don't know if you guys remember, Markeith got a steal. I mean, not steal, like a rebound, and he outletted it to Tyshawn. Tyshawn caught the ball, and as he's dribbling, the referee blew the whistle and was like, no, he stepped out of bounds. And I still to this day, I haven't seen it, but I don't think he stepped out of bounds. But that would have been a tie ball game, which would have done, like, if we'd have just tied it.
Yeah.
But what happened after that was, I think Tyrell, broke for a 3 and made a 3, and that cooked us. And Tyrell missed a lot of threes because a lot of people don't know Tyrell was hurt.
Yeah.
His heel, he had a messed up heel that he was battling. And he was
1
able
for
to
7.
Yeah. And we just kept running the same plays, and he just couldn't buy one. That was the only game he really couldn't buy one. Any other game, he was just big shot Tyrell.
Right.
So
we were 11-point favorites.
How? Oh my God! How?
I'm sick too. Still,
which
more sick now.
We never. Yeah, sorry. We always do this, but this is just part of the badge of honor of coming on Ain't No Seats. Is you got to have a discussion about those games. But we never let you answer like which game shocked you or hurt you the most, Northern Iowa or VCU.
You were on the floor for the UNI one.
I was really bought into that group, man. That shot, because it was S-Dot, man. Like, obviously, I'm a senior, but I was so hurt the year before with NIU that I couldn't even really react to the VCU because I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I think, what's his name? Falkenstein or whatever his name was, that kid's name? Farouk, yeah. He
Falkenstein.
I don't know what his name is.
I'm calling him that from now on.
Yeah, he was.
Fuck him.
That hurt. And then that guard that was guarding Sharon. Sharon, that was the first game that I ever seen that we got to pick Sharon up. Somebody got to pick Sharon up. And then it was a big that hit like
the
3
tall,
big 3.
like farm boy making 3-pointers early in the
game. And he was like, up until that point, he only made like 2 threes.
Yeah.
All season.
Yeah. So that was a hurt piece. I just couldn't believe, like,
bro, he really shot a 3 with 34 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, that cooked us.
Like 2-on-1 transition.
What shot was with VCU?
Oh God.
Dude,
was it I think I know it was a 3. It was a 3, right? I think it was one of the wings or something hit a 3 on Tyshawn. I mean, not Tyshawn, on Tyrell or Brady.
Oh, because that Jamie Skeen had 26.
Skeen was cooking.
All their other starters were in single digits.
Yes. Skeen was cooking. He was like the undersized 5-man, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he had 10 boards.
That little guard wasn't bad either. I forgot his name.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Falkenstein.
They didn't even have no good team. They had some...
suck. I hate Shaka for that.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I like his energy and what he do for his team. Like,
he hasn't done shit since.
I don't like VCU though. I ran into a few VCU guys. Like, what's this dude name? I used to play in the G League, and I used to try to strap his boots every time. His name was. He played in the NBA too, and he averaged like 20 points in the G League. And every time we played, The most he ever had was 12. I used to be on him. So what is his name?
Didn't they have a guy like Travion Graham or something?
Travion Graham well, I think he was like more like
Eric
taller.
Maynard?
No, Eric Maynard was back a while ago.
Yeah, that was the dude that beat Duke in
Yeah, he beat Duke.
2006 with Josh McRoberts.
Yeah. Nah, he was cooking.
Larry Sanders?
Nope, Larry Sanders wasn't there. They had 2 guards and they had a guard off the bench that didn't play that much, but he ended up going to the NBA. Played with Houston Rockets. I don't know his name. I forgot, honestly. But he played like
Weber?
He played like 2 more years after that, but he was on that team though.
On the 2011 team?
He was on the 2011 team, but he played like 2 more years after that and ended up getting maybe drafted to the Houston Rockets. Maybe he didn't get drafted, but he made the team. What is his name? Trey? It maybe not be
Troy Daniels.
Troy Daniels.
Wow, I did not know Troy Daniels was on that VCU team.
Yeah, I used to go.
You had him in hell.
He used to be. Me and him used to clash a lot because I don't know. We had some battles. I was able to really be who I really was before I came to Kansas. So I was a different type of player. But yeah, that was a tough time. Driving back from wherever we were, that VCU game
wasn't it in San Antonio?
VCU was in San Antonio, which we thought we had some Jayhawk luck. Like it was written that we wanted we back in the dome. So
Northern Iowa was Oklahoma City, I think.
Northern Iowa probably was. All I do know is it was tough, bro. It was tough.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, I got to go take care of the baby.
Yes, sir.
But if you guys want to keep going, you can.
We can do something next week.
Let's do something next week, man. Let's we were just kind of just talking, so we can probably have a little bit more, something structured and build off that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It's fire, man. I got this food right here, man. I've been trying not to eat,
Oh, wow.
Someone asked.
Well, hey, it's actually an inside joke on the pod. The listeners, our other co-host, AB, who's not here right now, they always ask him what he's having for dinner. And he goes into deep detail on what he's having for dinner. So there have been some people in the chat saying, what's Mario Little having for dinner?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm having kava right now.
Ooh.
I got a little braised lamb.
We've been making you wait for an hour and a half.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go put it to work, man. Heat it up a little bit, but got a little braised lamb, a little rice and a little greens.
There you go.
My thing.
That's what people like to hear.
Yeah, man. Rock chalk, and let's do it again.
Yep. All right. Appreciate you coming on, listeners. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys soon. Rock chalk.